Iran is the last voice of the rational Muslim world and the voice of the Muslim world. If you really want to understand what I'm trying to say, you should watch this podcast till the end and let me know your thoughts in the comment. So let's go right through it. Iran has for decades stood as one of the only country in the Muslim world that has consistently spoken against Palestine about Palestine and backed the resistance movement, which is called the axis of power, like Hamas and Houthis, while most other Muslim nations turn blind eye toward the genocide of the Ghazians, especially the children and the women, and especially the countries in the Gulf Cooperation Council, which they love to call them as GCC, have become increasingly silent or strategically selective, choosing economic gain, political survival, and close alignment with global powers like the United States on rather overtaking a firm stand. And that is exactly why now most people see Iran not just as a country, but as a symbol of resistance in a region where strong voices have faded. Because let's be honest, for years people believed the Gulf would lead the Muslim world as a rational and unified force, especially Saudi Arabia will be the leader of that. But instead, they have become cautious actors, often watching conflicts unfold rather than shaping them, and in some cases, even aligning with the very power that many believe are responsible for suppressing Muslim voices. There is a theory going on that Saudi is behind United States in prompting this attack, fresh attack on Iran. So these all things has only strengthened Iran's position as the one state willing to challenge Israel openly. And this is precisely why Israel has always viewed Iran as a major threat, and why tension escalated further during periods like the leadership of Donald Trump, especially his second term, where alliances became sharper and more aggressive, pushing the region closer to confrontation and ultimately breaking to a full-fledged war. Now let's go to understand the worst of the worst situation. If Iran were to fall, so what will happen? So if Iran were to fall, it would just not be the fall of a country, but potential the disappearance of the last major state, openly resisting the current global and regional order. Those order I'm talking about, which is carrying the genocide in Lebanon, genocide in Gaza, and call it what it is. Though there are critics that will argue that the Iran method contribute to instability and proxy conflict, supporters counter that without such resistance, Muslim world would be left without any meaningful voice on issues like Palestine. And this is where the real divide lies today. Not between right and wrong, but between resistance and compliance. And the uncomfortable question is whether the future of the region will be shaped by those who challenge the power or those who chose to live with it.